Hello again. We were talking about Out of This World when my time ran out. And yes, give Out of This World a chance. A cheap version that's easy to find is the Super Nintendo version, which works pretty well. But it might also be on goodoldgames.com. And if all else fails, just look on YouTube because the game is very special in its surrealistic world. Battle Corps, made by Core, the makers of Tomb Raider, who also had made that Thunderhawk game for the Sega CD. Now they have Battle Corps for the Sega CD, another 3D shooting game, and it's slightly less good than Thunderhawk, probably because it's a bit more dull. The graphical qualities are slightly better though. Edge gives it a 6, but don't bother looking this game up, it's not that good. Still one of the better games for the Sega CD. Vortex, yeah, I was wondering what's this robot? I thought Super Bomberman too. Well, Bomberman doesn't look like that. Alright, we have the letters, and I recall there being one very interesting letter, no, actually two. So you have the usual mumbo jumbo about new consoles, but first of all, apparently one of the letters sent to Edge was somebody who worked on the original Alone in the Dark, and they talk about the second Alone in the Dark game, which didn't have the same people working on it. And there's also a very long letter by John Rittman, who apparently made Head Over Heels and Monster Max, and he's talking about, you know, how about certain things, but he also criticizes the Taos operating system, or Taos, I don't know how you pronunciate it. And guess what? They reply with a whole letter by Tim Moore, the director of Teo Systems Limited. So that's Edge, you know, it's insider stuff. People in the industry talking to each other via Edge magazine. So, and people asking, well, where are all the original games? Or what's up with the CDI? Because of Stunt Race FX, the editors were reminded of Stunt Car Racer for the Amiga and Commodore 64, released in 1988, and it was 3D polygons. It had a horrible frame rate. But still way before its time. And no, it's not as good as Stunt Race FX, but definitely worth checking out, if not on YouTube, at what was possible in the late 80s with good programming. Also released for the Atari ST and the Spectrum and this Commodore 64. So yeah, the reminiscing of the good old times when gameplay was all you needed. A couple polygons. So, back issues. Oh, part 1 is sold out. Luckily, I have mine. And the charts. Let's check out the Sega CD. Ground Zero Texas #1. Oh, Night Trap. 3rd place. Still holding it strong. The Americans are into Super Metroid, rightfully so. So that's the best sold game in the States. And yeah, you have SimCity 2000, Sam & Max, so not that many new games here. What about Japan? They're into J-League Excite Stage 94. I don't know this game. Could be International Superstar Soccer, maybe? Doesn't look like it. Final Fantasy VI, Super Mario Man 2. So, some classics there. Which games were Edge readers looking forward to? Well, there you have that Labyrinth/Legend game again. Daytona, Virtual Fighter, Ridge Racer, and Inferno, a horrible game. Well, it's not horrible, but totally overrated. Still people looking forward to that. So, advertisements. We have Argonaut. A 2-page advertisement for Psygnosis, who would be making the Wipeout series, among other things. So they had quite a good run during the PlayStation 1 time. Rare. I don't know this company. So, Finding jobs via Edge. Crystal Dynamics, also big in the 32-bit time. Can you play games? No, I only read about them. Okay, so Nick Alexander, this was a subpar interview. Apparently, he's the founder of Virgin Games. Used to be chief of Sega Europe. And he's a man, it says here, is a man who knows what he's talking about. And then he goes on to say, yeah, I bet the Mars will be the best positioned games machine because it's cheaper than all the other things. No, it didn't work like that. So you're wrong. And he is right about this, but in practice, I mean, this counts for me. I rarely buy computers the first year they're released. And he's saying how if you wait a year, things will be cheaper, you'll have better choice, and there'll be less bugs. So why are all these, why are early adapters, why are there so many of them? I don't know. I've never been one. So, black and white advertisements. And the Q&A with more technological questions. What on flops? They'll become bigger in time. What does the Saturn do? You know, can a Daytona? Questions like that. And we're nearing the end. Next month will be the CES, which was the equivalent to the E3 show back in the day. This will be the last big CES. I mean, it still exists, the CES, but now, you know, video games have moved on to the E3. But back then, a big thing. So next month will be all about what they see at the exhibition. And we have our Edge logo getting fancier and fancier. And look, we do not have the traditional black back. We actually have a white back. And not just that, we see the PlayStation 1 controller. So Edge getting a bit artsy.